Let's learn about subdivision. What is subdivision? Subdivision is the process of dividing a word into syllables to decode it. When you're subdividing, it's important to remember that a syllable has only one vowel sound. Subdivision is your best tool when you're trying to read an unfamiliar word by breaking it into smaller parts. To do it successfully, you just need to work 3 steps. Number 1, apply the syllable rules. Number 2, use the vowel rules you learned in step 2. And number 3, recognize the word once it's subdivided, either from your learned vocabulary or from context clues. Subdivision isn't a random process. It's also not a precise science. The pronunciation of a word will change based on vowel rules depending on where you divide. The more words you know or can figure out from the context clues, the easier it will be to subdivide and decode words you have never seen before. Let's begin by going over the rules for subdividing words. After that, we'll review the vowel rules. Rules of subdivision. Number 1, compound words always begin by dividing between the 2 smaller words. This division does not affect vowel sounds. Note, a hyphen will divide the words inside a compound word. A slash will subdivide the syllables. Homebound, divided between home and bound. Football is divided between foot and ball. Airplane is divided between air and plane. Cartwheel is divided between cart and wheel. Number 2, when there are 2 consonants in the middle of a word, divide between the consonants, especially with a double consonant. Rabbit is divided between the 2 B's. Letter is divided between the 2 T's. Butler is divided between the T and the L. Random is divided between N and D. Number 3, when there are 3 consonants in the middle of a word, divide most often between the first and the second consonant. Children, divide between the L and the D. Frustrate, divide between the S and the T. Hundred, divide between the N and the D. Constant, divide between the N and the S. Number 4, when you have a vowel, a consonant, and another vowel together in the middle of a word, there are 2 options. Option A, divide before the consonant and the first vowel is usually long. Music is divided between the U and the S. Label is divided between the A and the B. Option B, divide after the consonant and the first vowel is usually short. River is divided between the V and the E. Cabin is divided between the B and the I. Number 5, when there are 2 vowels together, there are also 2 options. Option A, divide between the 2 vowels if you believe that each is sounded. Lion, divided between I and O. Diet is divided between the I and the E. Option B, do not divide between the vowels if they are a vowel team. Beam is not divided. Rain is not divided. Number 6, when a vowel is followed by R, there are 2 options, but be careful. Option A, Divide after the R. The vowel sound will be modified by the R. It will be an R vowel. Urgent is divided between the R and the G. Arbor is divided between the R and the B. Option B, divide before the R and the vowel should be long. Iris is divided between the I and the R. Erode is divided between the E and the R. Number 7, when you have a VCE team at the end of a word, remember the final E is silent. Adhere is divided between the D and the H, and the final E is silent. Betide is divided between the E and the T, and the final E is silent. Turnstile is divided between the N and the S, and the final E is silent. Embrace is divided between the M and the B, and the final E is silent. Number 8, a consonant followed by LE at the end of a word is always divided before the consonant, and the LE sounds as EL or L. Candle is divided between the N and the D. Fumble is divided between the M and the B. Bridle is divided between the I and the D, and you'll notice that the vowel is long. Amble is divided between the M and the B. Number 9, at the end of a word, Y is a vowel, sounding either as long I or long E, and there are two possibilities. A, when Y is followed by a consonant, divide before or after the consonant. Fancy is divided between the N and the C. Dandy is divided between the N and the D. B, when Y follows a vowel, Y is usually part of a vowel team. Parlay, divided between the R and the L. Monkey, divided between the K and the E. Note, NK is a digraph. We don't usually divide a digraph. Review the vowel rules. Note, these rules previously applied to one-syllable words. They will now be revised to include words and syllables. Later, we'll apply them to subdividing words. Number 1, a vowel between two consonants in a word or syllable is usually short. Number 2, one vowel followed by one or more consonants in a word or syllable is usually short. Number 3, in the middle of a word or syllable, Y sounds as I and acts as a vowel. Number 4, a single vowel at the end of a syllable is usually a long vowel sound. Number 5, when two vowels are together in a word, A, if they are in the same syllable, they are a vowel team. The first vowel is long and the second is silent. B, if they are in different syllables, they are sounded separately. Number 6, when a word ends in a vowel, a consonant, and a final E, the vowel is usually long and the E is silent. Number 7, W is a consonant only when it is followed by a vowel in a word or syllable. When it follows A, it creates the mod vowel sound as in jaw. When it follows E, it creates the sound of long U as in new. When it follows O, it can be the silent member of a vowel team, as in low, or it can be part of the OW diphthong, as in cow. Let's try subdividing. First, notice how often you see the word usually in the rules. That's because they are correct most of the time. You will find many exceptions as we explore multisyllable words. Remember the 3 steps. Apply the syllable rules, apply the vowel rules, and then recognize the word using context clues or your existing vocabulary. Your speaking vocabulary will help you recognize new words. The more words you know, the easier it will be to figure out a new multisyllable word. Whenever you feel that the subdivision rules conflict with the vowel rules, make the vowel rules your guide. That's the way we've subdivided in this lesson. Here's an example to try. Decode the underlined word in this sentence. Joe found a stray in his yard. Even if you decoded the underlined word from the context, let's go through the steps. First, count the vowel sounds. There are 3 vowels, so there may be 3 syllables. Second, try subdividing the word. For our first try, we've divided between the A and the N and between the I and the M. Subdividing after each of the first 2 vowels makes them long sounds. The third vowel is followed by L, which makes it a mod vowel, like the sound in all. Try pronouncing it this way. A, nigh, mal. Does it sound like a word you know? Does it make sense based on the context? If not, try subdividing again. This time, we've divided between the N and the I and the M and the A. Now, each vowel is followed by a consonant, which should make the first 2 short vowels, and the third is still a mod vowel. Try pronouncing it this way. An, im, ul. Animal. Do you recognize it? Does it make sense in the context of the sentence? Joe found a stray animal in his yard. What if you still can't decode the word? You can look it up in a dictionary. It will give you all the help you need. Subdivision can be challenging at the start, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Also, the more you read, the more words you will learn. In the next couple of lessons, we'll practice reading subdivided words that follow the rules. First, be sure you understand the basics of subdivision before moving on to step 3.2.